True peace, kins and friends. I am BooOonooAanet, a representative of Noon Science. I will be doing a reading today based off of the two gods that were supposed to be looking after Jeffrey Epstein when he was in prison. And so basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show this video so we all can get all the information that entails this case.
It's JT Siskowski with Status Coup. Some new revelations from inside of the Epstein files are raising new questions about Jeffrey Epstein's death, his supposed suicide specifically. It's a new, never before seen account from someone who was also being housed inside the same jail as Jeffrey Epstein. But there is also new reporting out from the New York Post about how the guards who were supposed to be watching Jeffrey Epstein, one of them was Googling Epstein in the minutes before his body was found, and also had taken in some suspiciously large cash deposits into her bank account. But I want to start with this accounting from the inmate inside of the jail. This is reporting from Julie K. Brown, who is, of course, the investigative journalist at the Miami Herald, who broke open Jeffrey Epstein's story again in 2018, where she goes with the headline, DOJ docs FBI interview raise new questions about Epstein's suicide. An FBI 302 interview with an inmate in the Metropolitan Correctional Center where Jeffrey Epstein was found dead on August 10th, 2019, told agents that he overheard a prison guard and others talking about covering up Epstein's death. The inmate, in an FBI interview on August 28th, 2 weeks after Epstein's death, claimed that he and other inmates heard the commotion after Epstein's body was found in his cell. Quote, breathe, breathe, unquote. He recalled officers shouting about 6:30 a.m. Then he heard an officer say, dudes, you killed that dude, unquote. A female guard then replied, if he is dead, we're going to cover it up, and he's going to have an alibi. My officers, the FBI notes said. The inmate claimed that the whole tier overheard the exchange. So this is quite the claim to be made by an inmate there. And it should be noted that you would hope that the FBI did follow-on interviews with some of the other inmates being held inside of that correctional center. That if everybody on the tier heard that, then you would think that other prisoners would be able to verify this account as this one prisoner whose identity we don't know because it is redacted within the files has laid out. This should be pretty easy to follow up on, but so far from trolling through the Epstein files, we have not seen another one of these 302 interviews with another member of that jail come to light. Could still be, there's millions of files here to piece through. They still could, but at least as of right now, it does not appear that the Department of Justice really did the necessary follow-up here. The FBI did not do the necessary follow-up in its investigations as to exactly what happened around Jeffrey Epstein's death. Returning here to the reporting. Later, after learning Epstein had died, he said inmates said, quote, Miss Noel killed Jeffrey, unquote. The handwritten 5-page report was taken in connection with a proffer agreement with the witness, the report noted. The name of the inmate is redacted from the report, and this is the screenshot from the top of that report where it makes clear that this is done with regards to a proffer agreement. He identified the female guard as Tova Noel, one of 2 correctional officers who were later charged with falsifying reports so that it appeared from their records that they had made their rounds that night when they had not. The charges against her and the other officer, Michael Thomas, were later dropped, but both were fired. On Saturday, the New York Post also found this nugget in the Epstein files that Noel had deposited thousands of dollars in her account in the months and weeks before Epstein was found dead. I want to pivot over now to that New York Post reporting, because because that also raises some pretty significant questions about what the FBI followed up on. Specifically, those large cash payments, I think, should raise a lot of red flags to anybody who is hearing this fact for the first time. It should have raised flags within the FBI, but it's not clear exactly what any, if any, follow-up they did on these revelations. So this is the New York Post reporting. Epstein prison guard Googled him minutes before body found and made mysterious deposit before pedophile suicide, per the DOJ. One of Jeffrey Epstein's prison guards Googled the sex predator minutes before he was found dead and also made a mysterious $5,000 cash deposit 10 days before the predator's jail cell suicide, new Department of Justice documents reveal. Tova Noel was one of 2 Metropolitan Correctional Center workers accused of falsifying records to say they checked on Epstein throughout the night before his August 10, 2019 suicide. The guards were fired, but criminal charges against both were later dropped. Noel Googled, quote, latest on Epstein in jail at 5:42 a.m. and then again at 5:52 a.m., less than 40 minutes before her colleague, Correctional Officer Michael Thomas, found the disgraced financier dead in his cell by hanging at 6:30 a.m., according to an FBI record of Noel's internet search history that night. And I can corroborate that reporting. This is from the actual Epstein files here. This Google search for latest on Epstein in jail at 5:42 and 56 seconds and 5:52 and 29 seconds noted here inside of the Epstein files, inside of the FBI's own notes on this case. And you'll see here that this is highlighted. This is not something that I added. This is inside the document. The FBI did this, highlighted this particular search. So it was something that was notable to them, but whatever follow-up they did is not exactly clear. Returning here to the New York Post report, earlier that shift, Noel, who's 37, shopped for furniture online and snoozed on the job instead of making the mandated checks on Epstein every 30 minutes, while Thomas perused motorcycles, prosecutors said. The FBI highlighted the eerie internet search in its 66-page forensics examination of the Bureau of Prisons desktop computers of Noel and Thomas. It was the only search highlighted. When questioned during her sworn statement to the DOJ in 2021, Noel denied Googling Epstein. Quote, I don't remember doing that, unquote, she claimed, according to a transcript. She said FBI records were not, quote, accurate. I don't recall looking him up, unquote. Noel, who has since been sued in Westchester County Supreme Court for alleged assault at her new job as a medical office assistant at Montefiore Einstein Advanced Care, also claimed to investigators that everyone at the Manhattan federal lockup failed to do rounds and falsified records about it. Quote, I've never worked in the special housing unit and actually done rounds every 30 minutes, unquote, she told investigators. Meanwhile, Chase Bank flagged cash deposits in Noel's bank account in a suspicious activity report to the FBI in November 2019. Another file from the DOJ revealed a total of 12 deposits began in April 2018, the bank said, and culminated in the largest deposit for $5,000 on July 30th, 2019, the record showed. So again, that is just days before Epstein is found dead, she gets a $5,000 deposit. I am not saying that these things are explicitly linked. There is no proof that they are. But the fact that this did happen was flagged to the FBI, and it's not clear what, if any, follow-up the FBI did on these reports is a pretty big question that I think merits some sort of explanation from the FBI. Turning here to the reporting, the files only contain Noel's bank records beginning in December 2018. They show 7 cash deposits totaling $11,880. Noel started working at the special housing unit where Epstein had been held beginning on July 7th, 2019, just weeks before his death. Noel, who drove a $62,000 2019 Land Rover Range Rover, wasn't asked about the cash during her DOJ interview, records show. An internal FBI briefing, also released in the DOJ files, reveals the agency thought Noel was likely the mysterious orange shape spotted in blurry surveillance video near Epstein's cell around 10:40 p.m. that night. Quote, at approximately 10:40 p.m., a correctional officer believed to be Tova Noel carried linen or inmate clothing up to the L tier. Last time any correctional officer approached the only entrance to the shoe tier, the agency wrote, Epstein apparently hanged himself with strips of orange cloth. In a sworn statement, Noel, who was working a double shift that day, told investigators she last saw Epstein alive somewhere around 10, and that she never gave out linen ever or clothing to inmates because that's done the shift before. The identity of the pixelated orange blob in the video has been a source of debate and conspiracies since the FBI released the footage last summer. I want to return here to this earlier note here that Noel, who drove a $62,000 2019 Land Rover Range Rover, wasn't asked about the cash during her DOJ interview. Records show. So she's not being followed up on. I think that is why there are so many questions around Epstein's death, as it appears that there were so many leads that the FBI did not follow up on. And that is what allows the space for a lot of this thinking of, did Epstein really die by suicide? There's no conclusive proof in any one direction here, but there is so much at this point to be noted that it should merit further questioning and further investigation by the FBI, or at the very least an explanation why many of these questions were not asked. If you followed up on them in some other way, just tell people. This should not be that difficult, but for whatever reason, with Jeffrey Epstein, it is like pulling teeth to get this administration and really anyone in power to address it and to do it in any sort of actual, meaningful way. We're going to continue to ask those questions and report on these revelations here at Status Coup because we are dedicated to actual accountability journalism. If that mission is important to you, please go to statuscoup.com/join for as low as $5.
Okay. That's the video. And everything was laid out in the video based upon what was in the Epstein file. So before I start, I would like to usher in positive forces of nature by calling out NoopooH 9 times. NoopooH, 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 NoopooH. Okay, I will be using the NoopooH Tarot deck card. Okay. Okay. So my question is, was Tova Nova and Michael Thomas paid to look the other way while Jeffrey Epstein was being unalived in his jail cell? Whoa. Ooh. I'm going to pull one more. There we go. Okay. The first card that popped out in the upright is the Phoenician Noon card. And it reads, this will be home only to all straight-haired people such as Arabs, Turks, Spaniards, Latino. After the 2025 cataclysm, all other races will be able to visit with Kingdom Guard chaperone for a limited time and must be escorted off the motherland until a later time. And the reverse means you may not be allowed to visit, or you may broke laws that will not allow you to return. So this is a mankind card, And Jeffrey Epstein was part of the mankind race, and he definitely broke laws. And being that he's no longer here, he wouldn't be able to go back anyway. Um, okay, the second card that came out is the February 5th, 1962 card in reverse. New beginnings, NoopooH New Year, 7 planetary alignment powers, which are consciousness, intuition, communication, love, war, justice, karma, and grounding. Aquarius, Uranus, upheaval energy, community, original, logical, detached, destruction, a year, NoopooH's mental birth, NoopooH mental year. So, being that this is in reverse, this is like so being that this is in reverse and it speaks of it being new beginnings, NoopooH New Year, 7 planetary alignment powers. This marks the ending of the security guards. Cause I mean, basically, the communication is basically what she or what she claimed occurred. That she ain't have anything to do with delivering linen to his cell. Um, that's done the shift before is what she communicated to FBI. Um, and it's definitely so karma and grounding. That's for in the beginning being that it's like that like the ending. She may receive Dharma for not being part of what happened, but it's still questions that has been raised um, pertaining to where that money come from and why was it being sent to her. Um, and as this go on, she seems to be within good consciousness of cooperating, you know. So, but time will tell. Let me finish the reading. Okay, the third card that came in, which is in reverse, is ZooPoo. So, secondary creator, 6 reasons, 6 mind, Zeus, second emanation, evolutionary creator, gamma rays, left side reason, descending reason, sex, false god in nature, 6 ether spirit forces, 6 5 4 3, ignorance, mystery, death. That's exactly what happened. Um, some mystery death, but being that this occurred in the reverse, we also know that the opposite of ZooPoo is NoopooH. And the positive forces of nature is coming out as far as with this information pertaining to what really happened in Jeffrey Epstein's jail cell. Okay. In the upright, we have the NoopooH card. Admiration, peace of mind, shyness, trusting, unexpected, inheritance, love, safety, bonds with kids, connected to nine mind, mental telepathy, loyal, trusting, scientific predictions, deep emotions, physical wellness. In reverse is absorbs pain from others, loneliness, ruthless, suspicious, superficial, low self-esteem, not in reality. And now, mind you, this is a child's card, so what was the true reason of why Epstein ended up in prison? Because of human trafficking children, women and children. So that's confirmation what this reading is really about. It's about Jeffrey Epstein, and if they were paid to look the other way while he was being unalived in his jail cell. Okay, and the last card that popped out in the upright is the religion card. And it reads, Savior, helps people, loving, martyr, studious. He really did have a savior complex. Helps people. Behind this religious card, which you get all of this, all of these individuals that was involved that claimed they Christian, but he was dealing with people from different religions. He was working with atheists. So you have Hindu, Judaism, Islamists, Jain, atheist, Native American son, Jainism. The Baha'i, paganism, menorah. Yeah, you got the Jews were involved. So yeah, people from all walks of life that was involved in doing this. I'm going to read the bottom card. And the bottom card is, in reverse, the brain of the universe. And I'm going to read it. And it was in reverse. Personal creator and God of the person, controlled by reasoning and thinking, motion, intelligence, judgment, behavior, morals, memory, reading, knowledge, positive brain matter. Okay, in reverse is descending reasoning, animal instincts, ignorance, low morals, negative brain matter. So that right there is this speaking on Tova Noel. Yeah, this is our Tova Noel. Because her descending, it's descending reasoning, because you supposed to be watching after an inmate. You Google him. See, that's right there was what haven't been determined. Okay, she claims she didn't remember googling googling Epstein on November 2021. That's what she said, and that's in the FBI records. And she was saying it were not accurate. She said the records were not accurate, and she don't recall looking him up. That's one. Okay, but then you got that part. Then you have her also receiving. Then at one point you have her. It appeared as she was carrying linen to the inmate up to tier 11, which was the last time any correctional officer approached entrance to the shoe tier. And it was saying, okay, and it was Epstein apparently hanged himself with strips of orange cloth, and she claimed that all of that was done the shift before. And another point was that beginning, okay, the bank records beginning on December 2018, it shows 7 cash deposits totaling $11,880. And she had started working at the Special House Unit on July 7th, 2019, just weeks before his death. That's the descending reason. None of this is adding up pertaining to what she said in the interview. And then on top of that, she was driving a $62,000 2019 Land Rover Range Rover, and the FBI never asked how she got the how she received the money. You know what I'm saying? It's just there's definitely dissenting reason, because none of that makes sense. None of it makes sense. None of it whatsoever. So that's the dissenting reason pertaining to all of this. And the pure ignorance was the part of her falling asleep when she was supposed to have been watching Epstein doing her rounds. And then another thing is they falsified records to make it look as if they did their rounds when they didn't. That's another thing. All dissenting reason. None of it makes sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out my new deck I just purchased, and it's the Rider deck. And I'm going to pull 4 from this. the question is, this question is, did DOJ, hold on, I'm gonna do it this way. All right, the question is, did the DOJ, okay, let me pull up this card. Did DOJ have anything to do with sending the prison guards money to look the other way That's the question. Did the DOJ send money to the prison guards to look the other way while unaliving Epstein? First card, second card. Okay. Whew. Okay. And this first card that came in is the what is it showing? Okay, it's showing, and it's showing the angel with a book is showing like a bird. Okay, this is the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Okay. I'm going to get a little bit more information on that and see. Okay. Okay, give me a few people. Oh, here we go. Okay. This card in reverse, the Wheel of Fortune, and it reads destiny. Oh, okay, and increase, abundance, superfluity. So what's going to increase is abundance, superfluity. More gonna come out about the FBI because the FBI is suspicious in all of this because they didn't ask the correct questions when when it as they should, because that's what was presented. As far as that money not being explained, why was she getting all those cash app drops or deposits in her account? Okay. Second card in reverse is the Ace of Cups. I'm coming, my people. It's my first time working with this deck. I am. Okay. And that was in the reverse, and it reads, the waters are beneath, upon which are water lilies. The hand issues from the cloud, holding in his palm the cup, from which 5 streams are pouring. A dove bearing in his beak a cross-marked host descends to place the wafer in the cup. The dew of water is falling on all sides. It is an intimation of an intimation of that which may lie behind the lesser arcana. Divinatory meanings: true heart, joy, contentment, abode, nourishment, abundance, fertility, holy table, felicity. Okay, so basically, in reverse, false heart, mutation, instability, revolution. So at the moment, the DOJ is producing a false heart because they didn't do right now. They have been showing a cold heart in all of this, and basically what even though the card didn't show up, basically what's being showed is the fact that it's a lot of scapegoatism. Basically, what's being showed, and in the third card that popped up, is the high priestess card in reverse. And it reads passion, moral or physical ardor, conceit, surface knowledge. Yeah, that's exactly what's coming up. Knowledge is going to be surfaced, and it's a lot of yeah, surface knowledge. Let me check out something here. Look up something right quick, my people. Thank you for hanging in there with me. This is pretty sure if I do more, Okay, and it spoke of moral or physical ardor. Okay, ardor refers to a great warmth of feeling, passion, or intense enthusiasm. It descends a state of eager devotion, zeal, or fervent energy toward a person, cause, or activity. Historically, the term also denotes literal burning heat or fire, rooted in the Latin word ardere, meaning to burn. Okay, so therefore it shows that the FBI didn't, whoever this individual was who were heading up this investigation, they didn't they didn't care too much for they didn't care too much for Epstein. They didn't care too much for him. Yeah. So basically, what they did was everything they did was to burn Epstein. And then you have the key aspects: emotional intensity. It is often used to describe deep passion or strong spirited feelings. Enthusiasm and zeal. It characterizes a high level of eagerness, dedication, or intensity in pursuing interests or goals. Yeah, and the interest and goal was for um, everything to go as smoothly, but the only thing it did was put the two idiots in the crossfire. And now, mind you, the guards, both of the guards were black, so basically they scapegoated them. And my thing is, they did all this for money. They did all of this for money, not knowing that they was gonna be uh, the scapegoat of everything, because they thought they was gonna go with the lie, the narrative that he hung himself, but that wasn't the case. And also to mention that another part of the descendant reasoning is the fact that they found the identity of the pixelated orange blob in the video, which has been a source of debate and conspiracy since the FBI released the footage last summer. So, from just looking at how those the linens were spread all over the floor, you can't tell me that someone didn't enter into that cell and unalived Jeffrey Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, when it's already in the files that she claimed that that's done. She didn't take the linen, but it's done the shift before. And then also the word pixelated is another way of saying that something was placed there, like video tampering of some sort. But basically, this reading does not hold the FBI. It doesn't hold the FBI accountable at all. But for but like it was stating, more information gonna come out about it. More information is gonna come out about it, and I include my reading. I hope you enjoyed, and I will most definitely work a little bit more with this new deck I just I just started using. Um, but True Peace, Cans and Friends. And if you like the video, subscribe, comment, excuse me, and like true peace.